The Toyota 4Runner has always been one of the most popular midsize SUVs in the US market for many years, and all this for many good reasons. The 4Runner simply delivers in many different aspects. It has the power, performance, and incredible reliability. For the 2025 model, there will be a brand new generation after 14 long years. And this new generation is better than everything before it. So if you want to learn more about the new 4Runner, stay with us while we cover how the all-new 2025 Toyota 4Runner turns heads in the automotive world. Platform and dimensions. Let's start our discussion of the 2025 Toyota 4Runner with the core, which is the platform of this new midsize SUV. The new 6th generation of the 4Runner comes under the codename N380. This new model will be built on a brand new body-on-frame chassis. This chassis is named TNGA GAF. This is the same platform that Toyota uses for the new Tacoma and the new Land Cruiser. So even though these are extremely different vehicles under the skin, they're pretty similar. This is a brand new ladder frame that allows the implementation of plenty of new technologies, such as hybridization and improvised suspension setup. On top of that, the new platform is far more rigid compared to the previous one, and this is noticeable when you drive the new 4Runner. In addition to this, the new chassis solves one major headache of previous 4Runner models, which is rust development. According to our sources, the new model will be assembled at the Tahara plant in Japan. When it comes to the dimensions, the all-new 2025 Toyota 4Runner will have a 2.3-inch longer wheelbase compared to the previous model, rated at 111.2 inches. This will allow plenty of legroom for the rear passengers. The overall length will also increase from 191 to 194.9 inches. This new model will also become wider, from 75.8 to 77.8 inches. As you can see, the all-new 2025 Toyota 4Runner increased in size from every angle. This will allow the 4Runner to be more practical than before, but more on the practicality we will cover later on. The important thing is the fact that this all-new generation brought a ton of changes under the skin, which basically gave the 4Runner a new feel of how it drives and improved the overall experience for the driver. Powertrains. Now, let's talk about powertrains. Powertrains play a major role when it comes to deciding which SUV you should buy. The previous generation of the 4Runner came with two old-school engines. These were the 2.7-liter inline-4, which was naturally aspirated, and the second optional 4.0-liter V6, also naturally aspirated. Both of these engines were extremely reliable, but made a modest amount of power and delivered poor low-end torque, which is a must for a truck in 2024. These days, powertrains have moved a long way compared to the previous decade. Nowadays, every buyer wants to get a turbocharged engine that creates plenty of horsepower and torque. So Toyota listened to its customers and bought a new turbocharged engine. This is the 2.4-liter inline-4 turbo. This engine will be Toyota's jack of all trades. This engine will not only be included in the 4Runner, but also comes with the Tacoma, Highlander, Land Cruiser Prado, and other Lexus models. Since it is a turbocharged engine, this makes it extremely versatile, and Toyota does not have a problem in creating many variations that produce different power for different applications. So for the 2025 Toyota 4Runner, there will be two variations. The standard, which will be known as the iForce, and the second will be the mild hybrid variant known as the iForce Max. The iForce will produce 278 HP and 317 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty of power for this application. However, the iForce Max will produce a lot more power, specifically up to 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. And this is some serious power compared to the previous generation of this model. By making so much power, the new 4Runner will become the benchmark in its category. When it comes to transmissions, the previous generations came with two automatics, a 4-speed and a 5-speed. These two are pretty outdated transmissions for modern standards. So what Toyota did for the new generation of the 4Runner was to implement a brand new 8-speed transmission. This transmission is extremely smooth and reliable. The biggest pro is definitely the improved efficiency. This is because of the fact that you have more speeds for a smoother driving experience. The engine is not overstressed and doesn't consume a lot of gasoline as the previous models, but more on the fuel economy we'll cover in a moment. In terms of power delivery, all 4Runner models will come with rear-wheel drive as standard, while a 4-wheel drive system is optional. However, if you want to drive off-road, four-wheel drive is pretty mandatory. With this version, you will have 2 transfer cases, a sway bar disconnect, a locking rear differential, and an off-road cruise control system. The hybrid will include even more of the good stuff, such as adjustable dampers, skid plate protection, and much more. Towing, cargo capacity, and comfort. Towing and payload capacity play a vital role when it comes to deciding which model you should choose as your future purchase, especially when it comes to capable SUVs such as the 4Runner. And we can tell you that the new Toyota 4Runner will definitely not disappoint. This new model will be able to tow up to 6,000 pounds. This is 1,000 pounds more compared to the previous model. This means that the new 4Runner will be one of the most capable SUVs in the midsize segment to a great extent. Toyota is definitely leading the game in this area. While in terms of cargo capacity, the 4Runner is expected to get up to 89.7 cubic feet of cargo space, while behind the second row, you will get up to 46 cubic feet, pretty similar compared to the previous model of the 4Runner. When it comes to comfort, this new 4Runner will be a lot roomier, since this generation has more wheelbase. Understandably, there will be more legroom for the rear passengers compared to the previous model. Overall, the new 2025 4Runner will not disappoint when it comes to practicality. This model is one of the roomiest midsize SUVs around, and it's definitely worth your attention. Fuel economy. Fuel economy is another area that has become very important in recent years, especially with the rise in gas prices. Gas prices are exploding, and buyers are expecting to get more efficient vehicles for the money. When it comes to the 2025 Toyota 4Runner, there's no information about the fuel economy that this model will deliver, but we can expect a similar performance as the Toyota Tacoma, because these two models are basically built on the same platform, pack the same powertrains, and also have the same proportions. This is about 21 mpg in the city, 26 mpg on the highway, and 23 mpg combined for the standard 2-wheel drive version, while the 4-wheel drive version will deliver slightly worse mpgs of 21 mpg combined. Exterior and interior design. Exterior and interior design are vital when it comes to buying a new SUV. A vehicle has to look rather nice in order for buyers to consider it. And luckily for you, the all-new 4Runner is one good-looking model. This new model is greatly inspired by the Toyota Tacoma when it comes to the front end. The model packs a similar front grille and headlights with only minor differences, but this is not a bad thing. The 4Runner looks extremely aggressive and has a ton of presence on the road. The rear end, however, is inspired by the previous 4Runner. It has those characteristic 4Runner tail lamps in the rear and the huge 4Runner emblem on the tailgate. So when people see this model, they know it's a 4Runner. On top of that, the interior is also extremely good looking. It's very rugged and tough looking, pretty much the same dash design as the Toyota Tacoma. What we really love is the huge 14-inch screen for the infotainment that you can option out. Even the base screen is more than enough. This one is at 12.3 inches. Both of these screens come with the latest Toyota software, and you also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration. Overall, the cabin is a really nice place to be in, especially in the more upscale models that you can get with plenty of leather and also heated and ventilated seats. When it comes to the trim levels that you can get, there are plenty of options available. The base trim is the SR5. Then you have the TRD Sport, TRD Sport Premium, TRD Off-Road, TRD Off-Road Premium, Limited, Platinum, TRD Pro, and the Trail Hunter. As you can see, the lineup is extremely rich. But one of the trims that we're most excited about is definitely the Trail Hunter. This model is a proper overlanding machine that will take you anywhere, and this model only comes with the iForce Max hybrid powertrain. Pricing. Pricing is really important. If the price does not fit our budget, we will definitely stay away from a certain model. And when it comes to the prices of the 4Runner, things are not clear yet. There's no official pricing by Toyota, but it's discussed that the new SR5 model will be available as low as $43,000. This is almost $3,000 more expensive than the current one. High-end models, like the Limited, are expected to become available at $54,000, and the Trail Hunter is expected to cost up to $57,000.